Southampton gave us another glimpse of a potentially exciting future under their new boss, Enzo Maresca. Aberdeen for Leicester City. Options inside the penalty area for him. He goes down, it could be a penalty. It is! Leicester City lead at Carrow Road. Kelechi Iheanacho. Oh, what a save from Hermansen. Keeps the score at 1-0. And Dewsbury Hall, clever touch. Dewsbury Hall, can he finish it? 2-0, and Leicester City's 100% record away from home is surely set to continue now. Full-time, Norwich City 0, Leicester City 2.
Yes, hello and welcome to Matchday Live here on Fox's Hub. What a brilliant victory that was away from home at Carrow Road on Wednesday evening. We'll assess that game in just a moment. I'll introduce our guests as well. But before we do any of that, let's get all of today's team news. Enzo Maresca made 5 changes to the side that beat Southampton on Friday night 2-1 at Norwich. He makes 5 changes again this afternoon. In come Ricardo, Dewsbury Hall, Ndidi, Fatawu and Jamie Vardy. Abdul Fatawu makes his first start in a Leicester City shirt, and it's still just a spot on the bench for Conor Coady. Here's the Leicester side in full then. It's Hermansen in goal, Doyle, Vestergaard, Fass and Ricardo across the back four. Winks, Dewsbury Hall and Ndidi in midfield, with Mavididi and Fatawu either side of Jamie Vardy. On the bench for the Foxes, it's Jakub Stolarczyk, James Justin, Conor Coady, Cesare Casadei, Mark Albrighton, Kelechi Iheanacho, Hamza Chowdhury, Yunus Akgun and Casey McAteer. The top scorer for the Foxes settles for a place on the bench this afternoon. From a Bristol City point of view, nobody needs reminding about who is in the opposition dugout today. Incredibly, 8 and a bit years on from leaving the club in the summer of 2015, it's just the first time that Nigel Pearson is back at King Power Stadium in charge of an opposing side. He's not the only familiar face returning as Matty James starts in midfield. He had a 9-year spell as a Fox. Andy King, involved with the club for 16 years in total, settles for a spot on the bench as well. Here's their 11 then in full. It's O'Leary in goal, Pring, Naismith, Dickey and Tanner across the back four. Williams and that man Matty James in midfield. Bell, Knight and Sykes in behind Nahki Wells. Well, that's the 2 team news. We'll remind you of those a little bit later on. But first, we've got to introduce our esteemed guests this evening. Well, one esteemed guest and David Nugent. And we've also got a trophy, as you can see, in the middle of the table. That is the Metro Bank One Day Cup. Thanks pretty much to this man here, Harry Swindells. Welcome along to the show. 100 this time last week at Trent Bridge in that final. A pretty unbelievable moment for you. How's this week been? A whirlwind?
Yeah, this week's been crazy. In between a 4-day game, dampened sort of the celebrations, but special week shared with so many great people. And yeah, the fans were amazing that day. Special week.
It must have been absolutely incredible. As a Leicestershire lad, we'll get on to your love of football and your love of Leicester City, of course, in just a moment. But just representing your county and doing what you did in a final. It was 89 for 6 when you came in. For those that don't know cricket, that's a dire state, really, that the innings is in. And you and Sam Evans, we've got to mention him, and another Leicestershire lad, another big Leicester fan, have just put on an unbelievable partnership.
No, it was so much fun being out there with Sam. I've known Sam for 15, 16 years, played so much with him, grew up with him. To be out there with him was very special, I know, for my family and his family. And yeah, special day to sort of get us up to a score. We tried to take it deep. We knew our ball and attack is so good. The boys have been phenomenal all year. Chris Wright, an absolute county veteran. Day in day out, just does the job. Vian Morder, exceptional overseas player, and Josh Hull, the superstar, 19 years old, 6'8". To defend 8 off the last over was so special from him. He's got such high ceiling. It was a special day.
Welcome along. You are an esteemed guest, of course, David Nugent. Yep. Welcome along. When we said we had Harry Swindells today, he said, "Oh, you'd seen the highlights already of that incredible knock, of that incredible day."
Yeah, no, I've seen the highlights on Sky TV. I've seen it when it was 19 before at one point when the lads were struggling. But no, when you yourself come in, do you feel the pressure coming in when you've lost six wickets down and?
Not quite. Sam, he's batting beautifully, so it made it easy for me. Like I said, I've known him for so long. I'm such good mates with him, so we're having a bit of a laugh and a joke, singing along with the crowd. The football songs, Leonardo Joa song was flying, so tried to have a bit of fun, and yeah, that was it.
Oh, decent.
I think at some point the stump mic was picking up Sam singing along to the Joa song at one point. So I guess it couldn't have got much better scoring 100, but to do it with someone like you said you've known so long, you both support Leicester, you're both representing your county, that must have been special, something that you'll remember for the rest of your life, I'm sure.
No, definitely. You know, it was a special moment for the club. You know, we've not won a trophy for too long, and you know, to have that trophy here with us today, you know, it's a special feeling for the whole club.
Seen some things, that trophy, I imagine, in the last week or so, particularly this time last week.
Yeah, seen a few things. I think this time, well, maybe not this time last week, but Saturday night here was full with beer. So yeah, it's good to see it.
That's the thing with every time someone wins a cup, football, any sport really, you always see the beer in the cup, don't you? When I won the FA Cup with Portsmouth, that night it was just full of beer as well. So you know, I think it's just a thing to do with the English teams, isn't it?
It's what all the boys wanted. All the boys wanted the photo with the beer, you know, spilling down your top. It was.
We've seen the videos on social media as well. We've got one of them when you're in the dressing room at full time and you're singing obviously the club song. You know from that moment on the night's going to be fantastic. And you obviously, it's a team game, but you were very much, you and Sam, particularly you with the 100, the hero, if you like, of the day. Here you go, here's a celebration. It must have felt so special.
No, it was special, you know, and obviously you see there in the back everyone's family and friends, you know, that made it even more special because, you know, you play the game for them, and to share that moment with them was very special for every single person in there. I hope it's not got the video of me down in the pint.
No, that was a shocking effort.
But yeah, very special, you know, there it goes, it's all dripping down my top. But,
you didn't finish it then, though?
I did finish it, but
too gassy.
All down my top, it was everywhere. But no, special moments with some great people.
And it wasn't just Saturday, of course. Even this week, it was a kind of must-win game, wasn't it, against Yorkshire? Unfortunately, the rain sort of got in the way, but you got another half-century in the county championship. Yeah,
it was nice. You know, obviously gutted about the rain. You know, we did need to win that game to put pressure on Worcester. It wasn't meant to be. You know, you can't control the rain. But yeah, it was nice to contribute. It's all I'm trying to do, trying to contribute to the team and trying to win games for the club. So.
Yeah, we'll talk about Leicester in just a moment. Before we do, final point on Saturday and how amazing that was. You spoke about it being like a football crowd, like a football atmosphere. There'll be so many fans here today to see you, by the way, at half-time when you parade the trophy with the rest of the team that will have been there. We've got a video, the moment where they're singing your name. And again, if we can just take a quick look at that. Again, we've used the word special an awful lot, but seeing this every single time now, you must be watching this on repeat pretty much. Let's take a quick look at it now.
Gives me goosebumps, you know. Yeah, pretty crazy, pretty surreal. You know, I've been there, you know, singing it about, you know, Dewsbury Hall and people like that. And to have it sung about you, you know, it's pretty special.
I think it helped though with Leicester playing on the Friday night, so a lot of the football fans went to the cricket on the Saturday as well, didn't they? So
in good spirits from that,
and made the atmosphere, you know, so much better as well. Because cricket, when you're watching Test cricket, you know, I know the atmosphere is good, but when you're in a final, it's so much better with the fans singing your name and cheering you on. And
I had a few mates in the Hampshire dressing room, and I was, you know, talking we're going to do the double AV this week and
rub it in
and all this. A bit of bragging rights, which was nice. But
and for the game to go down, there's 600 balls in a one-day game, and it's gone down to the very, very last one.
Yeah.
And as a wicketkeeper, you are involved. It's not like you were, I don't know, deep square leg or something where it's not, you don't see much of the ball. You're there, and it's vitally important that your head was on for all 300 of their balls, having just scored 100 yourself.
No, definitely. I didn't have to catch too many balls because the boys kept on hitting the stumps, which was nice. But I was cramping up, to be fair, after the first couple of overs. But you know, the 12 men were amazing. They were running me drinks every over, all this electrolyte stuff that I don't really know what it was, but it tasted horrible. But you got told I had to get it in. You know, they're amazing. It really was a whole team effort. We played 16, I think, people in this competition. Every single man stood up to be counted in key moments. And yeah, thankfully, you know, it was sort of our day in the final, and it was nice to contribute and very special to be sat here with that trophy.
Yeah, you've got the trophy here, and with the rest of the squad at half-time, you'll be parading it round King Power Stadium for a home game where you'd be sat with your season ticket and about 20 yards that way. Instead, you're getting to be on the pitch, so that's pretty good. What have you made of the season so far, at the start of the Championship life?
Boys have played brilliantly, haven't they? You know, my mum's a Coventry fan, so it was nice to beat them first game of the season. But no, they've been brilliant. 6 wins out of 7. Obviously a big game today, but yeah, you know, we're looking brilliant, and fingers crossed we can go up. Yeah,
and you are obviously a massive Leicester fan. We're going to embarrass you both a little bit now, because as soon as you sat down, you said that you were actually at Anfield. Was it 2015? Was it 2014 maybe?
Yeah, 14, 15, isn't it?
When David Nugent scored this goal. You were in the away end for that.
Special goal. I try and replicate this on a daily in our pre-match warm-ups. But yeah, special goal. You know, we probably should have won that game if ref had a bit of a stinker, didn't he?
2 dodgy penalties.
Yeah, 2 dodgy penalties, but yeah, special goal. And yeah, me and my old man were sat there. Yeah, unbelievable. How good's that?
I just wish it was the winner, to be honest with you. We got beaten 0 at the time. I didn't start the game. I came on halfway through the first half with Drinky getting injured, I think. And yeah, just to make it 2-1, get the lads back into the game, and then I think Jeff scored the need equaliser. Probably could have went on to win it with the momentum, but you take a 2-2 at Anfield away, wouldn't you?
Especially from your allegiances
Yeah,
as well. You'd have been very pleased with the goal at Anfield. Not quite the Cop end though.
No, I wish it was at the other end. Yeah.
So today, Bristol City. I mean, you know Nigel Pearson really well. When Harry leaves us, we'll talk a lot more about that. There's an awful lot on this game, isn't there? And the atmosphere today, you imagine, will be absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, it's going to be electric today, especially after the 2 away games we've just had. You know, Southampton away, Norwich away, two brilliant results, and they want to carry that momentum into the the home games. You know, we've seen the atmosphere. You know, the fans are still unsure whether the way Enzo plays is the right way, but he's just shown in these last 2 games that it's working, and the fans need to get behind it and start cheering the boys on more at home.
It's a case of almost just trusting the process a little bit, to coin a phrase from another football manager, but that is almost what Enzo has kind of been intimating, isn't it? And we're seeing the fruits of that from Friday and from Wednesday, those 2 away games.
No, definitely, they're playing brilliantly. Thrilled about getting 3 points, isn't it? And I'm sure as the season goes on, the boys will become more connected, and yeah, hopefully some more 4-1 wins.
Yeah, we'll take that.
Yeah, were you watching that game the night before a huge final? You know you're playing when maybe you weren't sure if you're going to play. You knew by that point, didn't you? Yeah. Could you watch the game? Were you just thinking literally about the next day? Yeah,
I watched the second half. We boys were out for a team meal before, so I couldn't quite watch the first half, but yeah, the second half was brilliant. Sadly, this is my first game this year, just because the way the cricket season is. Yeah, I can't wait to watch.
Yeah. Can't be celebrating too much in the corporate areas, but I'm sure you guys will do anyway. Hopefully we're winning as well at half time, which will be great for when you do that. Final couple of points. Who's impressed you most this season, do you think, player-wise?
Lavidi looks brilliant, doesn't he? Dewsbury Hall's had a great year so far, but all of them, all of them have played really well, and it's an exciting year, I feel. Yeah, another young Leicester lad that's come through the ranks is Casey McAteer. He'll be surprised, I guess, to see himself on the bench, considering the week that he's had, the start to the season that he's had. Yeah, but Enzo's all about the squad rotation, and he made 5 changes. Just gone against Norwich, he made 5 again today. And it's just Casey's time to have a rest. He's played the last 3 games, played really well. The Norwich game, he had to do a lot more defensive work than he did at Southampton, and Fatu comes in, for his home debut, and hopefully he can impress. Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Harry. It's been absolutely fantastic having you on. I hope you've enjoyed it. You can go and enjoy the hospitality now that you've got the media bits out of the way. Let's leave that in the box though. Let's not be filling that anymore. The food side or the drink side. A bit of both. I think you deserve it. Yeah. Finally, how much are you looking forward to being out on that pitch at half time? No, can't wait. It's going to be, like I said, a special moment for all the boys. All the boys have been brilliant. Shame there's not a few more Leicester fans, but yeah, I'll be trying to look for mum and dad and wave at them, and yeah, it'll be special. Excellent. Thank you very much, Harry. Congratulations again for last week. Good luck with the remaining game as well of the season. That was Harry Swindells joining us on Matchday Live here on Foxes. So we're going to do a substitution in here and bring him out and bring Matt Elliott into the studio. While we do that, let's take a look back at what's been a fantastic week. 2 games, 2 victories, both on the road and both pretty convincing.
Jamie Vardy on the edge of the box into Mavididi. Chances for Leicester very early on. Back to Vardy, who scores sensationally. 21 seconds on the clock. What an extraordinary beginning. He got a hat-trick here in the 9-0 win, and he's off and running already. Now, Walker-Peters has given it away. What a pass! Leicester are in for 2. Fantastic goal. Finished off gloriously by Casey McAteer, but made by Dewsbury Hall. One of the passes of the season so far. Well, here come Southampton at the other end, and Hermanson's going to have to come out here, and he can't get there. It's Samuel Adolzi who's clipped it over him. Made by Shea Adams, and the Saints hit back. And a crazy first half has a third goal. Good finish. Additional minutes at St Mary's. Here's Mavididi, goes beyond his man Edozie, gets to the edge of the box, slips in Ndidi. Ndidi, lovely fake to shoot, and then the finish from Wilfred Ndidi. Leicester scored after 20 odd seconds of this first half, and with 30 seconds left to go, they've done so once more. What a finish from Wilfred Ndidi. Well, and then he's given it away to Mavididi, who gets beyond small boat, and he's in here, and he's got support. It's Mavididi, with Dewsbury Hall up alongside him. He goes for goal, and this time he scores. Mavididi gets his goal. Leicester have their fourth, and surely now it's going to be 5 wins from 6 to start life in the Championship.
Mavididi for Leicester City. Options inside the penalty area for him. He goes down. It could be a penalty. It is. Is that about to change? Yes, it is. Leicester City lead at Carrow Road on the stroke of half-time. This is Hernandez running at Doyle. Digs out a really good cross as well. Oh, what a save from Duffy. And again, Hermansen keeps the score at 0-0, at 1-0.
That's a magnificent save.
That is point blank. Dewsbury Hall on the far side, feeding it into Vardy. Vardy waiting, and Dewsbury Hall, clever touch. Dewsbury Hall, can he finish it? 2-0, no flag. And McAteer, who missed an opportunity just a few moments ago, could not miss that one. And Leicester City's 100% record away from home is surely set to continue now.
Yes, 2 brilliant away wins, 2 long trips and 2 fantastic sets of 3 points. As ever, you can catch all the highlights, all the action on Fox's Hub on lcfc.com, of course. There's plenty more on there for you to sink your teeth into. All of it available, of course, for free. There's a feature with Sammy Braybrook and Will Alves on their recovery, both of them recovering from ACL injuries. Kiernan Dewsbury Hall, we took him to his first ever club, Shepshed Dynamo. He talks about coming through there and coming through the academy here at Leicester. There's also Classic Comms with Kelechi Iheanacho and Ricardo talking through some of their strikes for the club. And Matt Elliott and Jerry Taggart in conversation with Martin O'Neill is our latest Leicester's the Place podcast. You can either listen to that wherever you listen to your podcasts, or you can watch it on Fox's Hub or on YouTube as well. Welcome into the studio. It's a nice half a day shift for you today, Matt Elliott. Good afternoon.
Yeah, I've had more time to chew some sweets out in the back room, but yeah, feed myself. But it was interesting listening to Harry, wasn't it? You know, good of him to come here and put himself in the limelight, if you like, in the spotlight. But yeah, seemed like a lovely lad, didn't he? Fair play to him as well, and he'd be excited as well coming here. You can tell there's a big beaming smile on his face, isn't it? He's enjoying the day, and rightly so.
I mean, you yourself have been a cup final hero for Leicester City, of course. You'll know how he's feeling, really, and the week that he's probably just had. Yeah,
yeah, I suppose so. From what I can remember of it, but.
Yeah, the same with Harry,
to Harry, yeah, it was a bit messy.
Was that the final or the celebration?
Exactly both. Exactly both. And we used to like to enjoy things to the max when it was worthwhile. It's good to celebrate as well, and it gives you, neutral tell you as well. Yeah, when you get the chance, it's not just through wanting to enjoy yourself as well. Yeah, that's part of it, but it's also lads together. Positive memories, and it sticks in your mind and pushes you on to go and repeat it so you can enjoy yourself again. Basically,
that was your way of incentivising yourself. I like
one way of looking at it. One way of looking at it, but yeah, no, it's good to see him. I've been down to Grace Road not so long ago actually, when I watched them in one day out, which they won, and their form was starting to turn then. So fair play to them. Long overdue success.
Yes, a fantastic achievement for Leicestershire County Cricket. Congratulations to them. Right, let's concentrate again on Leicester City and on the game today, and particularly those 2 brilliant wins. We've referenced it a little bit already. They were both equally as impressive for different reasons. You were away at them both, of course.
But yeah, I went both games. Obviously Southampton really bad defending by them, which let Leicester, but you got to give Leicester credit as well. They pressed them from the front, made them make mistakes, and got the goals from it. And then Norwich was more dogged. Norwich gave them a good game in the first half. Obviously, the penalty just before half time, helped Leicester go in, 1-0 up. And second half, they come out Norwich, trying to get into the game. Mads Hermansen making a great save, Kenny McLean hitting the crossbar, but then just the composure of the counter attack, towards the end of the game to seal the game. And two very different performances, but 6 points out of 6. 6 goals, 1 conceded. It's been a good week.
Yeah, the lads are just preparing to come out for their warm-ups now, Matt. And 5 changes. Are you surprised with that? He made 5 going into the Norwich game, didn't he? He's made 5 again this afternoon.
The vast majority of them, no real surprise. I think he's trying to rotate but balance things up as well at the same time. And I suppose the one that you sort of look at and think, probably caused him most sort of consternation, if you like, is McAteer and Fatawu there. But at the same token, he's had a heavy load, hasn't he, McAteer, in a short space of time, taking a lot on his shoulders. He's done exceptionally well, massive contribution. He won't take it personally. It's not so much a drop, it's a rest, isn't it? It's like that. And an opportunity for Fatawu, who I think he's got bags of potential. I think I don't know, hopefully I'm right. I think a few other people think the same, though. He's waiting to sort of like burst on the scene, if you like, and make his mark. Hopefully that's today. So I can see the sense in all the decisions. I think that the 2 8s, as they say now, coming back in at this moment in time, our first choice, without a doubt. I think that sort of came to the fore on Wednesday night. But listen, looking at it, you could see them in the tunnel there previously, and that team, that's pretty strong, isn't it, in this division? Let's get it right. Okay, so there's no excuses in any form whatsoever. But they're in the tunnel, they're all there, bouncing and bubbling, smiling. It must be supremely confident right now. The 2 wins they've had, the form from the start of the season, 2 wins in the week, they're only going to get better. And now they're at home. Okay, it's Bristol City, Nigel Pearson and everything that comes with that. Bristol City, decent side. They must be super confident at the moment.
We've got Jerry Taggart, who is on co-commentary for us this afternoon. You're sat in the press box, Jerry, looking out on the Leicester City warm-ups. Are you in agreement with Matt that understandable changes today?
When you look at what, Enzo did on Wednesday night and it came off, then not really surprised, to get Dewsbury Hall back in there. And we've seen it before with Enzo where, Casey McAteer scored a double at Rotherham, and I think he was subbed the next game after that as well. So no real surprise. I think he's got strength and depth. The most important thing for me, just following on the back of what Matt said, is, and it keeps the competition for places very, very strong indeed, knowing that he can make that amount of changes on any given day. And the players that aren't playing know that when they get their opportunity, they've got to come in and produce the goods, and so far so good at the minute.
He's played every single game this season. I just want to know how important he is to the team.
Yeah, I think Harry is probably, you'd have to say, the heartbeat of the team at the minute. So I think it's pretty evident for everybody to see when he starts a game, and so that he's probably the most important link in the team between the back line and the forward line. So obviously there's certain players that you're trying to get onto the pitch as much as possible, and he's definitely one of them with the performance that he's shown this season. So he's a massive cog in this Leicester City wheel at the minute, because of the way Enzo wants to play, and he's probably at the moment the one player in the team that 99% of the time does exactly what the manager's looking for.
Quick one for your tags. If Winks doesn't play on the back of that, who fills his role?
Good question.
Got 3 seconds.
Well, I can't think that quickly, Matt, and you know that. I think, it'd be interesting, the lads, you've seen a little video a couple of weeks ago of Sammy Braybrook doing his rehab. I think the sooner we can get a player like Sammy Braybrook back fit and up and running, I think he would be absolutely tailor-made for that role coming up. But as far as the available squad, right at this moment in time, it's hard to pick somebody who can do what Harry Winks does. You know, just keeps a continuity in the team, keeps the ball moving, keeps it simple when he has to. Where a lot of the players that you're looking at on this team sheet and on the subs bench, you know, they have different attributes to Harry Winks. You know, so I think that's again one of the reasons why he's that vital cog in the team at the minute. I could be wrong. You know, there could be a player that steps up. Whether that's, you know, Ricardo does that holding role, who knows? But I think at the minute, you know, Harry Winks is probably the most important player. Certainly in that midfield role for me because of the continuity he brings to the team.
Final question, Jerry. It's on Nigel Pearson. Obviously, the return of Nigel Pearson here to King Power Stadium. We're expecting a brilliant reception, of course, for him. He's here for one thing and one thing only, though, isn't he? And that's getting a result for Bristol City.
Without a doubt, you know, they're on a decent run, 7th in the league. They turned Plymouth over midweek 4-1 at home. Great result for them. So that'll give them and Nigel you know, a boost of confidence coming here, knowing that this is a really difficult game today for them. But I'd imagine that, as I know Nigel, they're going to be physical. I don't think they'll try and play Leicester at their own game like most teams that come here. They'll probably have a low block, try and stifle Leicester City and try and hit them on the counter-attack, where we know at times Leicester can be a little bit vulnerable.
Thank you very much, Jerry. We'll hear from you on commentary alongside Chris Parrott this afternoon. You played under Nigel Pearson, of course, here at Leicester. Nuge, what will he bring today, do you think, from a Bristol City point of view?
No, they'll be very organised. You know, Nigel knows his team. You know, he very rarely changes his team. He knows his 11 that wants to start the game. And as Jerry said there, you know, they'll set up, you know, strong. They'll wait for the counter to hit us on it, because, you know, Leicester do play that fluent passing style of play where they can get caught out. We've seen it a couple of times in previous games, but, you know, I think it's harder to play at home for Leicester. You know, the teams do come here and sit back and do wait. So it's up to Leicester to, you know, just to be patient and wait for the openings. Yeah,
well, funny you should say that, because Enzo Maresca was asked about exactly that in his pre-match press conference. Really, the pressures of playing at home here at King Power Stadium.
We played 3 games at home, I think. Coventry, Cardiff and Hull City. The final score, 2 of them, they were we win a game. Even against Hull, as I said, we lost a game, but for me the analyze from the game was a good one. And then the people, the fans, logically, I can see that they are trying to make an effort, and I said the last time, we are grateful about that, because we can see that they are trying to make an effort to understand a little bit what we are looking for, but in the same time, it's their decision. At the end, we can ask them something, but at the end, it's their decision, and. For me, the only problem is just when we face team like Norwich the other day, that they are man-to-man, and the only free man is Mats. And sometimes Mats has to keep the ball 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. I don't care, to be honest. Because if Mats pass the ball and they are man-to-man, that means that all the players, they are marking. So it's difficult. And probably the good thing is to wait until some opponents jump to Mats. In that case, means that one our player is free. But yeah, I can see that they are making an effort.
Bristol City on Saturday, Enzo, what do you expect from them?
First of all, I know that their manager was here for a while, so probably he knows the house very well. So it will be a difficult game for sure. They're gonna prepare the game in the perfect way. We are going to try to do the same. And at the end, for me, more or less doesn't matter the opponent. At the end, they're going to be all difficult game, because the opponent, they try to use their weapon to hurt us, to try to defend, to try to attack. So it will be a tough game.
You mentioned Nigel Pearson there, a former Leicester manager, had 2 spells here, was manager of the club when they last got promoted to the Premier League as well. What do you know about his time at Leicester and the legacy, I guess, that he left?
No, as you said, big legacy in terms of he won, he spent time here, and I know also from the club that it's a manager that, because he reached important thing years, also with the fans, he has a good relation, so yeah.
How is Conor Cody in terms of his recovery back to full fitness?
He's getting better day by day, to be honest, he's getting better. Has been 8 weeks, 9 weeks, so long injury for him. But as I said, yeah, he's getting better. And we are going to try step by step to bring him at 100%.
That was Enzo Maresca there, previewing the game with Bristol City today, and also talking about the tests away at Southampton and at Norwich. And he's very sure in what he does and what he says, isn't he, Enzo Maresca? And he knows the way he wants his side to play.
Yeah, and it's evidence on the pitch. As he said there, Mads Hermansen, I was at the Norwich game, and there was times where Norwich were man for men with all the outfield players, and Hermansen was just standing on the ball for 20, 30 seconds, like he said. And it was always that through ball straight up to the Kelechi for the number 8 to run off him and try and play that way. But it's hard, if you beat your man in a 1-on-1 situation, no one's going to be chasing you. You've got a free run on goal, so you just have to be patient. You'll see a lot of recycling the ball, from the back line to the keeper, go forward, come back again, back through to the keeper, just trying to move the Bristol City players around to try and wait for that opening to try and go for the kill.
Yeah, and you talk about patience as well. There's some supporters or some viewers from the outside can see that as turning into a little bit boring at times, because it's they keep. People might think they're just keeping the ball for keeping the ball's sake, but I don't think. Very rarely is that the case with Leicester. I think Lou just touched on it there. The goalkeeper, even though he's on the ball for a while and he's thinking he's just slowing the game down, that might be part of the reason. But the amount of times he feeds it into an attacking midfield stroke centre forward area. He bides his time, and when there is the right time to play it forward, I don't think Leicester are slow in doing that. Occasionally they go from back to front. Against Southampton they did it quite a lot, play it into Vardy. Vardy sort of altered his role a little bit. At times they go over the top for Ndidi, McAteer to get on the back of when teams do squeeze up against them. So you have to be adaptable and flexible to what you're facing, don't you? What you're coming up against. But the only thing that is imperative at home, we're talking about that dilemma, is they've got to move the ball quick and sharp, and it's got to be 1 touch, 2 touch at most in and around the area. They've got to be really precise about that. Otherwise, they are going to have trouble breaking teams down.
Speaking of Mads Hermansen on the ball, he certainly did his job, didn't he, at Norwich, which is goalkeeping. This save in particular, fantastic.
Yeah, it was. It was probably the only more decent save he had to make in the whole game. The defence was solid that game, but Shane Duffy's about 6'5", and he gets above. I think it's Callum Doyle in the end, isn't it? Just gets above him, or Vestergaard, is it? Vestergaard, he's no slouch. So, and again, that's his job. Even though he is good with his feet, that's his main attribute. He has to, use his hands sometimes, to keep the ball out the net. And on that occasion, he kept Leicester in the game at 1-0.
Yeah, I think pretty much anywhere else he doesn't get a touch. He hasn't got the time to make the movement, but good save. Yeah, and it looked quite spectacular and everything as well, didn't it? Close range, and he got good contact on it, Duffy, didn't he, as well? Yeah. So and he collected the cross, I think, that came in
the second ball
afterwards, didn't he, as well? So he was up like all good keepers. You finish one action, you're straight on to the next. Yeah, he's impressive. He's impressive, to be fair. If you look at it, I don't know if it's a weakness as such, but he doesn't like coming and claiming across bodies, through bodies for crosses. That's not such a bad thing. I think Leicester defenders know when he's coming and when he's not, and that's a big thing. You don't want any element of doubt about it, because that's where confusion comes into it. But yeah, listen, he's done a great job, hasn't he, all round, both with the ball at his feet and shot saving wise as well. Yeah.
It's surprising it was his first clean sheet of the season, really, wasn't it? Actually?
Yeah. You think obviously the games that Leicester have played at home, they've been hard games. Coventry, could have easily lost the game. Cardiff.
He made a vital save, 2 vital saves.
When it was 1-0. So he's had to come up trumps when he's needed. You know, so to get his, the defence get the first clean sheet of the season, it's vital, and they want to, go try and get another one today against Bristol.
Even at Southampton, I think the score was possibly 2-1 then, was it, when Shea Adams cut in?
2-1, yeah.
That would have made it 2-2. That was a very good save that he made look quite comfortable. But yeah, he looks top-class performer.
And obviously, his main thing is goalkeeping, his main job is goalkeeping, but as we've been referencing, with the ball, he's very good, and he plays a lot of those balls straight into midfield, into the likes of Harry Winks, who's able to turn. Yeah,
that's where Harry Winks comes into play. He's the first option for Hermansen to look for. You'll see Harry Winks coming from deep, for a one-touch pass out wide to one of the centre halves, and then Ricardo gets involved as well, comes in from the inverted full-back version. So they have a way of playing. It's just having to frustrate Bristol, make them lose their discipline, get them, frustrate them, chasing the ball, and that's when the attacking options come available, when they lose concentration.
Yeah, and keeper himself, like he was speaking the other day, Manson, and he said he's happy with his decision making. He's got a clear idea of what he's meant to do at what time, and I think that's fair comment. I don't think there's too much element of risk with him. He plays it into tight areas, but he can see where the next pass is going to be. He doesn't put people in the cart too often, if at all. And very rarely, if it has broken down, it hasn't really been down to Hermansen's decision making. It's been other players with a poor touch or something similar.
Well, it was Norwich where Kenny McLean hit the ball. It was his pass that was too short to Ndidi, and Ndidi didn't come to the ball, and obviously they've the crossbar from it, haven't they?
Yeah.
So
is that Wilfred there? I don't know.
Maybe
Maybe more
stuck
so.
on his heels, isn't he? Wilfred,
but still early. It's still September. Those mistakes will get ironed out.
Yeah, I still think Leicester have got 2 more games to go. It just feels like they're still in fair gear, and they're still winning games comfortably. Well, not winning games, but yeah, I think they've still got 2 games to impress. I think the international break did Enzo a world of good. Getting it into the players, how he wants to play, all the new players coming in, and I think the last 2 performances have shown that.
Let's take a closer look then at today's visitors. James Pearcey from the Bristol Post tells us what to expect from the returning Nigel Pearson.
It adds an extra narrative to it, of course it does, because it's bizarrely the first time he's been back, isn't it? Which is quite an incredible sort of statistic, really. But it adds that sort of narrative, and obviously for the fans, he's certainly from the City side of things, he's probably as popular as he's ever been. I would say so. He's going to be a very loved bloke in that stadium. But at the same time, he doesn't want that to become the story of the game. Okay, it's going to be a bit of that before the game. All his family are going to be there. There's going to be lots of how you doing, to a lot of staff and all that kind of thing. But then fundamentally, that will very quickly change, and then it's all about the 90 minutes. Well, they have tended to play well against teams that do dominate the ball. Because they do have quite a sort of coherent organisation shape. They all work for each other. Defence is playing pretty well at the moment. Matty James, we all know about in terms of his sort of positional qualities. He just everything just sort of revolves around him, and his defensive work in recent weeks has been exceptional as well. So I think that will be the case, whereby they'll sort of sit off, but then there'll be moments where you'll see players going to Leicester guys and just trying to win the ball back. But what they do is often that when they do win it back, then very quickly you get the wide guys going.
Thanks to James Pearcey there from the Bristol Post for that. Obviously, as ever, all the games are available to you on Fox's Hub this season, whether that's to watch or to listen. If you're in certain territories, you can watch the game and you can get your video passes now. For all the details, as well as listening to it, and anyone wherever you are, you can listen to the game today. To get all the details, all you need to do is head to lcfc.com/Fox's Hub. We heard from the journalist there about Bristol City off the ball. They've done a bit of a mix this season. Sometimes they've really pressed teams. Other times they've sat off teams. Do you think it will be more of the latter today here at King Power Stadium? I
think so, especially if Nigel's done his own work and watched the last 2 games, how they just tore open Southampton in the first half from them trying to press or playing out from the back. So yeah, I think we'll see Bristol City who'll sit off and try and do what Leicester did to Southampton.
Have you got a good relationship with him still? Now?
Yeah. You know, Nige played me every week, didn't he? So I like him. You know, so we had a good relationship. You know, myself and Vold virtually played every game underneath him. So we built a connection, and he plays every week. You know, his sides, he was a 4-4-1-1 when I was here. You know, me just playing off forwards, and you know, do have a lot of good players in this side. You know, I play with Jason Knight, who they signed from Derby, who's tenacious. He'll play in the hole in the number 10 position, trying to run beyond Naki Wells. Obviously, you got Matty James, who played with for all my 4 years while I was here. So yeah, I've got a good squad. It's just about how Leicester can open them up and try and cause them problems instead of the opposite way.
He's a player's manager, isn't he?
Who, Matty?
No.
Oh, Nige.
Nigel,
Yeah. If you
a lot of the players, not all of them, it's never 100% across the board, is it? But a lot of the players seem to have a big affection for him.
Well, you had a group of players who wanted to work for him,
Yeah.
and if you worked hard, you get rewarded. And you know, he came in, you know, after Seven, you know, he bought all the players and literally got rid of half of the squad that, you know, Sven bought, and kept the ones that he wanted to keep. So he knows what he wants. He knows the squad, how he wants to play, and he built a squad which, you know, got us promoted to the Premier League, and you know, deservedly so. We all celebrated pretty nicely as well.
I can imagine.
And you know, I love my time with the Nige. You know, I probably played my best football on the Nige.
That's what I'm saying. I hear a lot of players say, I love it playing under him. You know, whatever club it's at, it's the right way, even if you're not as successful as perhaps your team were.
Yeah.
But no, it's good to see. Whenever I've met him, he's always been good company, and personable, and he's got a little bit about him as well, hasn't he?
But I think if you work for him and give him 100% every game, he's not really, well, he's bothered about the results, but he knows you've given it 100%, so he's not like strict on your way. He's going to like drop you for the next game. You know, he knows what players give what other players don't, and you know, he stands by the players.
Genuine sort of fella, isn't he?
Yeah, he'll be desperate for a victory today, I'm sure. Let's get a quick recap of today's team news. Starting, of course, with Leicester City, and Enzo Maresca makes another 5 changes. This time to the side, of course, that played and beat Norwich City at Carrow Road in midweek. Here's the 11 then in full. It's Hermanson in goal, Doyle, Vestergaard, Fass, Ricardo, Winks, Dewsbury Hall, and Ndidi in midfield, with Mavididi and Abdul Fattah making his first Leicester start in behind Jamie Vardy. Nigel Pearson opts to play just one of the 2 former Leicester players in the ranks. Matty James right in the heart of the midfield. A lot of the ball goes through him, and as you rightly said, news through Jason Knight as well, who's in behind Naki Wells. This is their 11 then. O'Leary, Pring, Naismith, Dickey, Tanner, Williams, James, Sykes, Knight, Bell, and that man Naki Wells. Right, let's hear from one of the current Leicester City players then. Harry Winks has been speaking to our commentator Chris Parrott about half an hour ago.
Harry, thanks for talking to us. 3 weeks since the last home game, you must be delighted to be back.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, looking forward to playing in front of our fans again, and hopefully we can get a win today, because I think the last game we played here was our only defeat of the season. So it's going to be a game we want to put right, and hopefully we can keep on this winning run.
Incredibly busy period. How are the legs? How are the rest of the squad's legs after the long trips to Southampton and then Norwich?
Yeah, they feel fine. We have a great team with physios and the recovery guys who help with all the recovery. So I think we're all feeling fine. I mean, it's still early in the season, so I'm sure it's going to get a lot tougher. But we're really excited. We're enjoying playing, and we just want to get out there and play.
I imagine the confidence is pretty high after those 2 away wins in a row.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, I mean, all season we've been pretty confident, and the manager's instilled that into everybody in the team, and you know, the way that we're playing and the manner in which we're winning is probably the most important thing for us. And I think everybody's itching to play, and everybody's excited with the way things are going.
Talk to us about your role in the team. There's an awful lot of attackers running ahead of you. What does Enzo Maresca want from you?
I think he just wants me to sort of be the one in there who's the link between the defence and the attack. Someone who's to try and keep the ball, maintain the ball, to try and maintain the momentum of the game, because you can see there's some good teams here, and if the games get to a bit more like a basketball match, it becomes a bit tough and physically difficult. So I think someone just to try and manage the momentum and try and keep the ball and hopefully try and control the game.
100% passing accuracy. That must have been nice when you found that one out after the game.
Yeah, it was nice. I mean, the most important thing was the win. That was the nicest thing. I mean, to hear that was, for me, that's like a goal or assist, because I take pride in that kind of part of the game. But the most important thing was the win, and to play Norwich, who are a good side, and to beat them away, which was we knew it was always going to be a difficult game. So that was the most important thing, and yeah, I was really happy with the way that we won as well.
And just finally, what are you expecting from Bristol City this afternoon?
I think it's going to be a physical game. I think they're going to come for us. They're going to try and get something here, which most teams do. We know that being Leicester, every team wants to beat us. Every team wants to try and come at us and sort of make it difficult for us. But we have to stay to what we believe and keep sticking to our patterns of play and how we play and be brave on the ball. And if we can do that, then hopefully we can hurt opposition.
That was Harry Winks there speaking to our commentator today, Chris Parrott. He obviously wants to right what happened last time out here at home against Hull City. There have been 2 brilliant wins on the road since then, but getting the wins here will be vital this season.
Yeah, I suppose it's good that it's annoying the players, really, and that's the standards that they've created for themselves, really, with just the one loss and all the rest. They've won them, some more convincing than others, but yeah, like Harry's mentioned it there. I've mentioned it. When we saw the players in the tunnel, with the form that they've had, especially the last 2 games, must be bouncing into this game. You can't always worry about the opposition. I know some supporters do, don't they? And they're thinking, there's going to be a tough challenge again. What are Bristol City thinking about Leicester? They're going to be thinking, hang on a minute, we're up against it here. Don't disappoint them. Players out there, a really strong attacking aspect to the team. Go out there and express yourselves, take the game to them, move the ball quickly, and I'm sure things will go Leicester's way.
Yeah, he just mentioned in his own interview there as well. 83 passes, 100% pass completion as well.
It's not bad, is it?
I give him
That's unbelievable, isn't it?
I give him man of the match as well in that game against Norwich. I thought he was different class. It was like a Rolls Royce in there, just receiving the ball, one touch, 2 touch when he needed it. There was an instance in the game where he received the ball to beat into the Cruyff turn and just left 2 midfielders for dead. And he just carried the ball forward as if like nothing happened, and that's what we need from him today. It is risky, but when you've got someone who's that calm on the ball and got the brain for it, it's only good for Leicester City.
Yeah, been an interesting battle today, of course, up against Matty James in the midfield. Coming up here on Matchday Live, we've got full match commentary, of course, for you, depending on where you are. Of course, you can watch the game as well. We'll be back again at half-time. Here's a little explain, though, of what you can get and where you can get it on Fox's Hub.
If you are watching on lcfc.com, just sit back and relax. If you are watching on social media, the live stream will finish shortly. If you want to continue enjoying our coverage, you'll need to head over to lcfc.com/Fox's Hub and purchase one of our game passes. If you are watching in a territory where the game isn't live on TV, you'll be able to watch a live video stream on Fox's Hub. Please visit lcfc.com/territories to check. If you can't find your location, live audio commentary is still available. You'll need to have an lcfc.com account before you purchase your Game Pass. If you already have one, please sign in and select your product at lcfc.com/Fox's Hub. Select the Buy button and you'll be taken to the payment page. Once you've followed the simple payment steps, press Continue at the bottom of the screen and you'll be taken to the Fox's Hub homepage. If you purchased a video pass, please select Watch Live from the Fox's Hub drop-down menu. If you purchased a Listen Live pass, please select Listen Live. If you purchased a seasonal or monthly video pass and the game is not being shown in your territory, please select Listen Live. If you are having a payment or technical issue, please email Leicester TV Support at streamamg.com. Thank you, and we hope you enjoy the match.